One of the things for Massachusetts is EWIS is actually an explicit strategy in our state's plan to promote success after high school. Um, and it's funny, I didn't put it on the slide, and I think it's because it's so integrated into our college and career readiness efforts, our dropout prevention, as well as our promotion of high school graduation. For those of you who don't know delivery, it's a methodology around goal setting and tracking progress, and so it's something we talk about a lot. It's definitely sort of on the commissioner's radar screen on a regular basis. And like I said, it's a key part of our dropout prevention and recovery work. Most all of any of the in-person trainings that we have with schools and districts throughout the year as part of that team, there's usually an EWIS mention or an EWIS component. I guess we're in the 5th year and I'm finally feeling a little bit of the fruit of the labor where if was in some trainings the last 2 days, and when I said, has anyone heard of EWIS or used EWIS, we had a high number of people who were raising their hands, well over half of the percent, but it's definitely been a bit of a challenge over time to get people to know about EWIS and to use it. I would say 3 years ago, if I asked a question in a room of 75 or 80 educators, I might have only had a handful, whereas yesterday it was around 60 or 70% of them were talking about having used EWIS. So we do extensive in-person trainings with school and district teams. We also do webinars throughout the year. And I'll give a special mention to, we've done a lot of work with our State Association of School Counselors, where a colleague on the College and Career Readiness team has done a lot of trainings and gone to some of their convenings and gatherings to increase the use and capacity among that group with this data, because the school counselors are such a key component of qualitative data and local data about the students and use. In addition to these in-person trainings and webinars, we have in-depth videos on Edwin, which is, again, our online portal, but there's also a link that we're able to provide to people generally so that they can get familiar with this tool, or rather these reports. And it was, we contracted out for the development of this in-depth video where they really walk through each report, and it's almost like a lead PowerPoint where you really describe and can move through various questions and components of the reports. And we definitely try to link with other agencies, programs, and priorities. And I think I saw in the chat box the multiple tiered systems of support question get asked, and that's definitely a group that we try to work with as closely as possible. I would say on the local level, the MTSS teams are a key group that comes to the trainings that we have to try to understand how to use EWIS more. Within the agency, we definitely want to cross-pollinate and increase the linkages there. And I'll also mention MTSS as well as the other two units I talk about here are part of our EWIS advisory group. And so we have an interagency advisory group that provides feedback and information to our EWIS use, and just it increases their awareness of it as well as provides really helpful feedback into how to increase our reach. Our Office of School and District Turnarounds work with our highest need districts, our level 4 and 5 districts. And so we work with them, and they're the lowest performing schools and districts. Work closely with them to go out and do special trainings and provide special support to those schools to try to help their use. And then we also have the District and School Assistance Center, which for us are data specialists that work with level 3. Those are the lowest 20% of schools and districts in our state. And that's, again, helping those data specialists know the most about EWIS as possible and help support them in supporting schools and districts around EWIS use, as well as, again, using that as a regional approach to go out and leverage EWIS trainings. So really exciting for us under the next steps, like I mentioned in the introduction, we're expanding to look at college-going and college-ready outcomes as part of our new state longitudinal data system grant, in which I'm right now excitingly diving into all the data to do predictive models for rising 10th, 11th, and 12th graders on college success outcomes. It'll be college going, avoiding remediation, and persisting to the second year. We're also developing a training environment so that we can even dive in with ed prep programs to help those educators understand around using EWIS, as well as do more live trainings with EWIS data. Because it's student level data, we can't really do a live environment. And we're getting a EWIS training and implementation specialist, so an additional person to go out and support folks using this on the local level.